I'm gonna vote. I plan on voting. I think sometime next week. I'm gonna go with my barber. Actually, we're gonna go at the same time.
Where
Yeah.
so I have not voted yet. I don't know if I'm gonna vote actually. I really don't know. Um, I would say to start off for sure, I think that the people that vote, you're good for voting. The people that don't vote, y'all got a reason for that. And I understand. I understand both sides for real. For me personally, I just haven't thought about it that much because government just doesn't mean a lot to me. It doesn't. Politics is just not my. It's nowhere near my area. I feel like the way that I navigate through life and the things that I really like think are important in terms of like actual human change and like things really changing. I definitely think that systems, roles like government, they have their place, but that's just not me. It's not in my lane. I feel like real human interactions, real communication, not advertisements, not things you can't trust. Looking into somebody's eye, to me, that's just a whole different ball game. I don't. I might vote though. My mom has definitely been instilling it in me, and it's like you just have to go for like
Yeah.
you just gotta go tick
I
off some things, and
I'll say I guess on mine I'm voting. But I've ever since I was able to vote, I voted.
mm,
But that's I guess for me, my parents instilled on me just like understanding not just on the high end government, but just your local government.
mm,
Just like your governors and and judges and things like that. It's just
mm,
not to really vote for them because again, your vote means a lot, but in the grand scheme of everybody that votes, it kind of doesn't seem like it's that I'm just one extra person, but that one extra person could make the difference of a person that I want. But I would definitely say, and something I definitely am going to do even more now as I grow older, just do your research on your local government because it may not make a big change on the grand scale, but local government does affect the state government. I'm not state government, the rest of the American government, I guess. It's probably not the best way to word it,
yeah,
but yeah, I definitely I'm gonna vote. Um
yeah. I feel like that's why like I'm definitely not gonna say anything bold. Like I'm definitely not gonna say voting is bad, voting is good. But I would say I think one of the biggest enemies right now for at least America, because I haven't been out the country yet. I really want to leave the country just to see what's out there, but I have not made it around to. I have I haven't made it around to do it that yet. But I think one of the biggest things we face is cynicism. Like, what do we do with cynicism? What do we do with like just a lack of trust? And I feel like, oh, this is hard. This is a the words are coming, but they're not coming fast enough. What do we do with like just so many people just doubting everything, like doubting all the information that they get, and it's like a lot of the information like it should be doubted, but I also feel like we get information that makes us doubt other things even more, like
right.
social media, like the things that we see on it, the images that are like, you know, just in the memes and all the main messages, it
Yeah.
just promotes more cynicism, more doubt, more just like,
Yeah, it's like I understand that because it's like if you can't trust your government and
mm,
they're supposed to protect you, who do you trust? Especially with everything that's been going on.
yo,
But is that's with the current government that we have now, and I think that's, I guess, with a lot of the political advertisements and things like that. I'll say personally that um a lot of them just to me at least seem like kindergarten, like preschool presidential, like your class presidents and stuff
mm,
like that. There's
yeah, I'll
no,
fix the water fountain.
yeah,
I'll
no, like
fix
for
that.
real, like there's, oh, Timmy did this yesterday.
Mm,
He vandalized the wall. You don't
mm-hmm.
want a person that vandalizes the wall. It's like
Yeah.
there's no real like
And it's also like, it's just nothing in politics, nothing in the media, nothing in the news reflects my situation at all. Like, I do not see, like,
Right, but
none of it shows it. Like, the friends that I have, the people that I be around, the things that we talk about, and I do have a lot of, like, real discussions, like, it has nothing to do with anything they're talking about in politics. And it's like, the things that people are struggling with, like, I don't see any. That's why I'm saying it just feels like it's in a whole different lane to me. It
right,
feels
but
like my sister is mad into all of this stuff, like social justice, all of that stuff. So she just kind of my excuse. I'm like, one side of me is taking care of all of this, so
yeah, no,
I'm
but
gonna handle my stuff.
but I'll put it this way: it isn't a problem until it becomes a problem. But the question is, I guess, is the
So
problem
you
going to
make it a
be?
problem.
Well, I guess do you make it a problem? But at the same time, it's like, for me, it sounds like it's it it's like out of sight, out of mind. It hasn't affected my immediate life, so I don't care. And I'm
Yeah.
not trying to say that to put words in my mouth or anything, but it just, to me, that's what it sounds like. I guess for me, is similar to chess. You got to think 2, 3, 4, 5 steps ahead. Yeah, it doesn't affect me now, but oh yeah, I gotta.
So what are the
stop
things?
slamming
What are the
table.
things that you feel like voting is gonna change? Like, what are you voting for? At least the issues, not like what do you how are you actually voting?
No, I
What are the
mean,
issues that you voting for that you actually are passionate about?
I'll say for me, I'm voting for a voice, and I'm voting for a black voice. And again, I'm not an expert on anything political or anything like that, but I'd say from my perspective, from what I've seen and what I've experienced directly and indirectly, hasn't been the best.
A black voice. What do you mean? A black voice for who to hear?
Hmm. I see where you're coming from. Hmm. I would say for me, it's
This nigga about to take his vote out.
no. I'm still gonna vote. I'm
Give
still
me
gonna
my
vote.
vote back.
I need it.
I want it back.
It didn't count. It didn't count. It
You
didn't
lied.
count. No, I believe for me that you're voting. I believe that I could be that one extra person that makes the person I want to vote for win. Not that it really makes a difference, but that's just
Yeah, but
that's
I'm
just
saying,
me.
like, what are the issues though? Like, to me, I don't man, and I just know that, like, if my sister heard this and heard me talking this
No,
reckless,
right,
it's gonna
and
be
that's why I'm saying.
bad.
That's why I'm saying, like. But again, though, you need. I'm not that person to do, because again, similar to you, I'm not too. I have my eye on it. I'm listening to the things that are going on, but I'm not necessarily directly looking at everything that's happening. So I couldn't.
Yeah, see,
On the spot, I couldn't pinpoint any direct reason of why I was voting besides not wanting Trump to be there. Like that's yeah.
so we talk about Trump. I don't have anything to say about
I
that.
ain't got
But
I ain't got nothing good to say about
yeah,
him. So
so
I'm not gonna speak.
what was it that you just said that affected me? I don't know, but I know that what I was gonna say was along the lines of, like, I do feel like things need to happen for people in America to change, and just for people in general to change. Like, just for us to take the next steps into enlightenment and just being more whole as beings. And to me, just what's real is what I actually see and actually hear, like, in just the being with people who are actually in pain about situations like anxieties and like mental health, just like things that they go through, like things that they go through that America doesn't really have an answer for, because the answer for them wouldn't really benefit America, right? Like, there's a lot of things you can get into, but yeah, it's just like, it's just so real. Like, I talk to so many people who deal with kind of the same problems about cynicism, anxiety, just like not feeling like enough, just not feeling like enough. And to me, it's like, those are the issues that I feel passionate about. And I don't know, maybe, And that's the thing is that maybe it is that there are some serious local politicians who are like, yo, mental health is a real issue. And I'm just over here like, voted, blah, 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 whatever. And they
Right.
could actually be like on my side and talk. And I wouldn't know.
Right.
I'm just gonna be honest. I'm not saying it's a good or bad thing. I'm saying I'm happy with myself. I'm not guilty. I don't feel
No,
guilty.
yeah,
But
yeah. And that's what I'm saying on my end. I'm not gonna be pissed at you if you don't vote. I'm not gonna be like beat you up for like, oh, why didn't you vote? Da, 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 da. Because at the end of the day, we still voting regardless. Like,
yeah.
it'd be different if nobody was voting or if like everybody was voting. But again, as you said, it's always the decision is always yours. I'm gonna vote because I personally believe, from one, my limited but growing knowledge about politics, that the people that I'm voting for are trying to make a change, not only for the minority, but just for everybody. You can't say
Maybe.
that Obama's run didn't benefit everybody, because it did. People just,
Did it?
I'd say yes.
I'll put it to you this way: if it did, then Trump wouldn't have got in there.
That's not true, because Trump is an embodiment. I'm not going to go down that road. I'm not going to go there.
Talk your
Nah,
shit,
nah,
dog.
nah, nah. But it has nothing to do with that, because at the end of the day, that has everything to do with the electoral college and things like that. And it's just, there's levels to the shit. There's literally levels to the shit, and it's one of those things where there's so many ways you could cut the pie, as far as my vote really doesn't make a difference, and Trump's original election is a prime example of that. Hillary won the primary. The people, she was the people's champ, and still didn't get elected. So it's like, how it's like to go down that road again. It's like, why will we do it again? And it's like, you could almost see it as the definition of insanity, but
Because it is.
to a certain extent, yes. But at the same time, Obama did get elected.
True.
So you can't, and okay, for instance,
All right, I got a question.
Okay.
What do you think is really changing about humanity? Like in these past couple,
in the
I
grand,
guess, like
in the grand
100
scheme of
years.
things, not much, because we won't see a lot of the change that is about to happen. It's like, and again, this goes back to the conversation we had originally. There, for instance, protesting. You see what I'm saying? We've been protesting for a long time, but you can't deny that change hasn't been happening. It takes a while. It takes a really long time, and we get tired. We get really, really, really tired. But at the same time, there was people that stood in line so we can stand in line. There was people who took those lumps so we can take those lumps. We're not experiencing things nowhere close to what they had to experience. But at the same time, you can't deny the fact that change is happening.
Yeah, I would say though, like even as we started to move away from slavery and as we're being less racist, as I'm putting in air quotes, not because I feel like I have an opinion about it, just because I don't know. I don't know. But I would say, like, do you think our minds are changing? Are our minds changing, do you think? Like, are we evolving as a species? Like, is it that we ended slavery because we're starting to see the good in like just the life, like seeing ourselves and other people, like the white man is starting to see that black people are just skin and black people I see? Or is it that we're just still caught up in like the ego's game? Like
We're always.
it became convenient for slaves to be free.
I would go that route, but I wouldn't go fully there. I would say, back to something I say all the time, humans are inherently selfish. And slavery, we can't. There's so many. There's no way I can really say it without it sounding bad. Slaves are always going to be around. There's going to be one person for as long as we live. There's going to be somebody underneath somebody else. That's the way of the world. If you conquer something.
But I feel like there is a way to free yourself from mental slavery. And to me, freedom from mental slavery is freedom from slavery. And so I guess what I'm saying is, do you think that we've started to move towards freedom from mental slavery?
I'd say that's selective. That depends on where you go.
In America.
Well, again, that just depends on where you go. You can go to the south.
But I'm saying, like, as a collection, like
as a group.
You think we're generally no? You think we're going backwards, or we're just staying the same?
I'd say we're moving forwards, but it's a snail's pace. There's but again, that's where it goes to show too, though. We are moving. We just won't see the change, and we have to accept that we won't see the change because
I guess
our parents didn't see the change until now. You see what I'm saying? Our great grandparents and our grandparents, our great grandparents, our great great grandparents didn't see the change in their generation. My great grandmother, if she was still alive today, God rest her soul, she would be like, "Damn, the things that we're allowed to have now, you would dream of back then." So, yeah, things.
You said we didn't
changing.
already have it.
But what about the things we're allowed to be?
We didn't. That's obvious. We didn't have it.
But what? Just asking.
We could literally go back to Jim Crow. There was literally
we could date white girls.
Yeah,
we out here.
No, but for real though, it's just like there's so many things.
Can I just get an example right quick?
I would say voting. We used to not be able to vote. For real.
Is that to our detriment or to our come up?
I would say it's to our come up, but I could see how you could phrase it as it would be to our detriment, because technically we're just another vote and we're just another person that's marked down and cataloged and seen as this person. But to the other side of it,
I thought I was outside of the microphone. I was not. That was loud.
To the other side of it, I think voting still is a mark. It's a sign to fight against the machine that is. But
this is where I do think that voting can be dangerous, and I do still stick by my statement that if you are voting, go ahead. I don't even want to add any like doubt or just like anything into your mind. And like, if you're not voting, do your thing. But it's like, I guess I do have a problem with people getting their identity from their vote. Like, they put in a vote and they think that they are shifting a system. So it's almost like they think that the system is them, and as fast as the system moves is how fast they think they move. And that's almost where I think that people are saying, like, we're moving at a snail's pace towards enlightenment. I would say that you get that from identifying with, your vote in the system that you're in, the way that it's moving. Because, our system is moving at a snail's pace. Because why would it be moving fast?
Right.
Like,
There's
the
no
people
reason,
but again, why would it be moving fast?
That goes back to what I was saying before, though, about the people in power.
I just want to say, like, if people disidentified with the system, like, still casting your vote, still understand that it's, it's there and it could be manipulated, whatever. Right. But when you disidentify, I feel like that's when you understand that it's not moving it's moving at whatever pace you want to move at, because it is you, like.
Right. But that, I see that, I see where you're coming from, but I see that more as like individuality versus a collective. Now, it's always harder to gauge a collective because society. You see what I'm saying? Society is.
What do you mean gauge a collective?
Individually, you can see yourself as free, but you're still a part of a group.
Are you really, though? Are you really? Are you really?
Yes and no. I see where you can say you're not, but you are.
I would say you definitely benefit from, the title of American, right? You got a visa, you got your license, you can go around, police pull you over, they're not gonna arrest you on the spot. Like in that way you could say you're part of a group as in like the things that you have. But it's like, are you really ever part of a group? Like, I don't know. I almost feel like unless that group is speaking to your core, you shouldn't really let yourself identify as part of that group. Like unless that group is like it was help, like you were there when it started and you know what it's really really about and you have faith in it, like you trust in it.
But that's why it's always weird. That's why I say it's the collective, because and that's even with your friends. You and your friends don't agree on everything, but
We're not in a group. We just friends.
right. But that friendship is a group. Still, we just call that group friendship. It's still identified as something.
All right. So what are you saying when you say gauge a group? Because maybe.
So, for instance, we identify as American and Indian and Japanese and things like that. That's our race, right? But what are you gonna say? Like I'm not. I'm just myself.
Yeah.
That still doesn't change the fact that you're black.
I guess what I'm saying is that the danger is saying like I'm American and subconsciously saying like my morals are at one with the American system. Like I'm only as enlightened as they say. The Americans look.
I've never said that. I've always stated just do what you want to do. Is don't make a difference to me. What I'm saying is, for me, not even you have like for voting, you're an American.
But how many Americans do what they want to do?
That's selective.
To me, the people that I'm around, that's why I'm saying that like it's only real for the people that I'm around.
Right.
It's hard to do what you really want to do. It's hard to get yourself to a place where you're doing what you really want to do.
Okay, but do you think that the government hinders you or helps you in that sense?
Thinking that the government could help you hinders you.
But that's about thinking about yourself, though. What about everybody else? As the collective.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
As the collective.
And I do think there has to be somebody to lead the sheep. I do always feel like that. And I'm not saying, but, I am a sheep.
But to go back to your original statement, what about the people that were a part of the originators of the group and saw and
they should definitely vote.
Right. No, but what I'm saying is, anytime you make a decision as an individual, you've already justified it in your head. When you tell other people about it, you just want their approval. And if they don't approve of it, you still do it. You just don't do it when anybody's around. Same thing goes with this. For people that were in groups, it may not be going in the direction that they are originally intended, but it's still reaching the destination that they want. So they are content, or they're willing to compromise to get to that destination. The journey is always going to be weird. Crazy. Yeah, it's always going to be crazy. But at the end of the day, you may not do it the right way, but if we still end at the destination we're trying to get to, then I'm okay with that.
But I feel like that's what I'm saying. So what do you think is the destination we're trying to get to?
I personally, I want to say peace, but we're far from peace.
See, I don't know.
We're far from peace. We're way too far from peace. But I feel like the direction that we're in now isn't helping us.
I think what we're trying to get to is unity.
Yeah, but isn't peace and unity more or less the same thing?
I think you can have peace with unity.
Yeah,
but I don't think. I guess I feel like if your goal is unity, it would just be a different path that you would take than if Although now that I'm thinking about it, I guess the argument that I first had when you said peace, I was like, yeah, but you could do some crazy things for peace. Like you could do some messed up things for peace.
And people have done crazy things for peace. Think about how many movies that we see where people are like, you're stuck in this system, and if you just were to see it, but let me put you in a situation. How many movies where it's like you have people trying to end the world so they can realize that if everybody sticks together, they'll have unity in that peace.
Yeah, or just killing a couple million people because they aren't about their vision.
Right.
They no snap.
But that's what I'm saying. The sacrifices you make for the destination that you're trying to get to.
Yeah, but we're talking about what is the destination we're trying to get to. I guess I would feel like the destination has to be enlightenment, like true oneness with your inner, like your deepest being.
Okay, but what are you as an individual willing to do to get to that enlightenment?
Are you talking about? Are you asking me, or are you saying like
what are you as an individual okay, let's hypothetical. You knew how to get there, and you tried to teach other people to get there, but they just didn't understand it, but they were headed in the right direction. Would you continue to let them go down the path they're going because they would get there eventually? Or would you tell them that they're wrong?
I feel like you really just can't
still do it. Whatever guilt you have to live with that. That's not.
So you don't think that we could ever have just a system, America, or I don't know, maybe America will be gone by then. Just like a group of people, a big group of people, where everybody is happy. Maybe not even happy. Everybody feels fulfilled. Nobody feels like they're missing something. Nobody feels like they have to.
No.
Do you think that's possible?
No. And the only reason it's not possible is because
you say it's not possible.
No. I feel that everybody's saying, what about me?
But you don't think that we could ever get to a point where it's like, I got you, I got you, and I got you? Because at the core, it's all the same.
Right, but that goes in perspective and perception. What does I got me mean? I'll give you a perfect example. I don't think it's a perfect example. I'll give you a relatively decent example. Air conditioning. Mm-hmm. Let's say you like air conditioning at 45. I like it at 75.
Okay.
Well, common sense would say, all right, put it like 60.
Maybe.
But would you be happy with 60?
Well, I would say,
because you like 45. Would I be happy with 60? No, because I like 70. But we would compromise at 60 because, or like not 60.
Or
obviously.
You could just keep a heater in your room, or I keep it. Whoever has
right. But that's what I'm saying. Not everybody thinks that way.
Yeah, I feel like everybody does think that way. It's just not everybody has seen that that's a way that you can think, I guess.
Not everybody has accepted that that's a way you can think. And at the same time, you got to remember, people are still privileged.
So you saying that we're all moving towards a destination. What are we moving towards if you don't think that we could all even reach a state where everybody feels like I
personally want to say we're moving to a place of peace. I want to say that. Do I know the actual direction that we're going? Hell no.
Like peace for the majority or peace for the whole?
Huh?
Peace for the majority or peace for the whole? Because if you have peace for the majority, they're gonna keep voting for the same things.
That's how. And Chris Rock said something about it. Dang, because he was like, it was like a senator in Kentucky is the richest senator, is richer than everybody in Kentucky, and like Kentucky's dirt poor. Damn. But they voted. They voted for no, right? But they voted for him for the last 30 years. Wow. Let that sink in. So it's like
he good.
Right. He's good, but he doesn't care about everybody else because again, I'm good. Why do I have to care about anybody else?
But you do.
You're supposed to, but you're supposed to according to who though?
But see, I think anytime you trace back to people who don't care, I think it is always traced down to some sort of disillusionment at some point. Like it wasn't a natural process of the human growth. Like I don't think people just.
What is a
maybe
natural
they're
process?
psychopath.
Yeah.
So what's the natural process for human growth? I would say. So like, are you talking in a whole lifetime?
Yeah. What's your definition of the natural process of human growth?
I mean, I think humans are adaptive creatures. And so as various problems come up,
we learn to adapt.
Yeah, we learn to adapt. But I think we also have innate connection to the whole, to the earth, to other people, to everything. So I think we have innate empathy that we, at the core, we see ourselves in other people. And I think that when you start messing with that and like disillusioning and saying like, oh no, only you are you, like you, that's a whole unique experience, and like what you do can make you special or whatever. I think that's a disillusionment. But I think the natural process is to, I think, just understand your being, like understand like what kind of life you live where you're not constantly fearing death, you're not constantly questioning everything. You're just in a place where you're just in appreciation. I think the human process steers towards appreciation.
Yeah, but people appreciate stuff all the time.
Well, I'm not saying that people are going through the natural process. I do not think humans in America are going through the natural process.
That's because they watch TV all day.
Huh?
That's because they watch TV all day.
TV is definitely part of it.
Media and TV tell you what to think, how to feel, and what you think you're supposed to do in life.
And I'll definitely wholeheartedly agree with you there. That's why I don't really get on social media. And you know that too. I don't really get on social media unless it's to promote something that I individually feel like is good. But I don't really get on social media for what? To post something. Rhapsody said something a long time ago.
Rhapsody stays saying
facts, but she said something to me. Well, she didn't say something to me, but I felt like she spoke to me.
She said something to all of us.
She said something to all of us, but it was in the song. She was like, why do we, and I'm paraphrasing, why do we post everything we post? Because where I'm from, you're not supposed to post stuff you ain't supposed to be doing. Not everybody's supposed to know your business. Not everybody's
asking myself the same.
Yeah,
question.
Not everybody's supposed to know your business. Why do people
on yourself like
that? Right. Why do people post? And again, I catch myself in those moments. So it's like, but why do I need to post that? Nobody cares.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna start doing it so I can get more fans and engagement. Not fans, but so I can get more engagement for business. That's why I'm gonna start doing it more.
But that makes sense because that is promoting yourself. But again, why would you post yourself eating a sandwich? Why would you post yourself eating ice cream? Why would you post yourself?
Some niggas like looking at niggas eating sandwiches and ice cream.
And but what I'm saying,
that's still promotion as well.
Right. But what I'm saying is,
and
to even promoting yourself doing illegal activity. Some people
that's stupid.
Right. That's stupid. But people still do it. And it's like, why? Because they need to see.
And they love people love watching that shit though.
Yes, they eat it. They eat it up. But it's just like post.
Why? I haven't posted in a while. I'm gonna get back to posting. And honestly, why I stopped posting is probably not the reason people would expect. But my girlfriend posts a lot, and she has.
Why did you stop posting? If you don't mind me asking.
Whoa. We gonna come back to that. I'm gonna finish what I was saying first.
Got you.
My girlfriend, she be posting a lot, and
all the time, and I'm like, why
be posting the whole concert?
Did I record that concert? I missed the whole concert.
Looking at my screen.
Trying to post it.
He was right there.
Mr. Bro, 2 Chainz was in a wheelchair, and I could practically touch that man. It was back when he broke his leg mid-tour.
Dang.
And he was in a wheelchair.
Right?
Yeah, with the gold rims.
And
he
had a pink
and the
casket
baddie and the nurse that was behind. There was a nurse that was
gold rims on a wheelchair.
Yes,
and I bet you the nurse was thick too. Oh my gosh.
It was, baby, I'm sorry.
Whoa.
Y'all, it was
Yo,
so
that actually reminds me. Huh?
She was probably wide in the wheelchair.
That's not important. That's not important.
That's not what we're talking about.
The important, but
Dre sabotaged his own podcast.
But was she thick? 2 C's? No, but for it's just like I look back at that all the time. It's like why did I post that? But I posted it because it was dope.
It was lit. Speaking of lit concerts,
it was dope.
I went to this Waka Flocka concert.
Waka Flocka's concerts are always amazing.
It was so crazy. All right, so it was in it was like one of those college campus concerts, right?
It's back when you were in Atlanta?
Nah, he came to UNC, Chapel Hill. Yep.
Wow.
When my sister was going there, she invited me. I was like, Waka? That's in Flocka? Yo. I went, I vividly remember this because this was like one of the funniest things I ever saw. So I didn't know Waka Flocka was so healthy.
Yeah, he's
His
vegan.
skin was glowing. This
vegan.
man was speaking facts. Like, I didn't know he was so healthy.
He's in the stocks and everything. Like, he does not play.
Stonks, yo. Like, he was really spinning some facts. Like, you would not tell from his music, but he was like, in the middle of his songs, he would just be like, be healthy, drink water. So at one point, so he pulls out a case of water bottles. This is like one of those 24 packs or 40 packs. No. This man goes from the back of the stage, picks up the case, runs and throws the entire case filled with all of the water bottles into the crowd, and it lands on this girl, and she just crumples, like she just falls. Like Waka got her, like he said, she died. Like I was just there watching the whole thing in slow motion, and it was surreal because it was so Waka Flocka. Like I was like, I was waiting for this. This concert didn't feel right until this happened.
I'll give you a similar situation because it happened at the 2 Chainz concert. So 2 Chainz is going back and forth in a wheelchair, and he sees a person with a crutch, and it's like, "Yo, is that a crutch? Yeah. Hey, let me see your crutch. Bring your crutch up."
And so ask a man for his crutch.
He handed him. They brought it all the way to the front of the crowd, and he stands up on his crutch. And that's why I've never. 2 Chainz is tall.
Really?
Yes.
He's like 6'4".
That man is 6. 2 Chainz 6'4" is different than a lot. I've seen a lot of men that are 6'4".
He might be taller than that.
Low. He was like, "Damn, you short, bro. Let me gotta adjust it." He adjusted and performed the rest of that concert.
He left the gold rimmed wheelchair
with the crutch.
Wow,
that is hard. And you know what he did? He threw the crutch back in the crowd, and it's
like a spear.
He signed the crutch like, "Hey, here's your crutch back."
Yeah. My eye.
And the whole time they had the crutch, they had the dude who had the crutch in the crowd like,
said, "My other leg." 2 Chainz. That sound like a 2 Chainz concert too.
Yo, and the whole time he was like, the whole time after the concert, he's like, "Make sure y'all get y'all education. Make sure y'all graduate."
That's
He's like, because he's like, graduation is hard. That's hard. Like, that's dope. And it's
see, to me, Flocka throwing the water into the crowd, 2 Chainz using a crutch like that and just spearing it back. To me, that's so much more important than politics. I feel like he changed some people's lives, yo. Some people left enlightened. It was like, I understand now.
But to throw that into politics, that's because we gathered something from that. Some people feel that way the same way about politics. Some people, you could say some people went to a Trump rally, and when he was like, "I feel like I can kiss you," and they were like, he almost did it. Knowing damn well he was nowhere close to doing it. But people feel that.
I will say also though, I have yet to talk to a Trump supporter and actually have a real deep conversation with them. Like, and I'm not even saying this is what I feel like this is how all Trump supporters are, but I've only really talked to 2 people who are Trump supporters, and they were so clearly just trying to argue, like not really even trying to learn any or like talk about anything. They were just trying to like they're just saying dumb shit, and we were just like going in circles or whatever. But I do want to talk to somebody who's like really reasonable because I know they're out there. I know because I know that I was watching this video and they were talking about the fact that there are red states and blue states. And like, what does it mean that there are actually whole states that almost never...
It's Bloods and Crips. It's different.
Waiver. Yo.
The whole America has been Blood and Crip for a long time.
But she was talking about how there are some states that just never waver. And she was saying that it was pretty much how you grow up. Like if you grow up in a city, you're going to have a different experience than if you grow up around trees, around like the farms and like the country or whatever. And that's just, it is what it is. And so like, I feel like everybody has to know, like, you know, you grew up in a certain place, your environment is what is making you.
So it's like, oh, that's what
talk
you
to,
are.
like, yeah, like, I hate to see people who are like, I hate Trump. He's like, blah, 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 blah. But then when you really start getting into like a deep conversation, it's like,
they just hate
you
Trump.
just hate what you see on the news.
Yeah, surface level hate.
Yeah.
Nah, it's for me, it's not even stemming down that. I just think that I personally think that the whole red state, blue state thing is dumb because it's just identifying to yourself to one group. And a lot of times, at least from the conversations that I've had, nobody completely is red or nobody completely is blue. Mm-hmm. And this is why America is a hybrid capitalist, because it's not, we don't want all of the blue and we don't want all of the red. Right now, it's like they're trying to force all of the blue, but it's like there are even Republicans that don't even agree. You see what I'm saying with everything that's going on. So are you gonna denounce them of being Republican? No, they're just a Republican that disagrees with the Republican. If I'm a black man and I disagree with you, I'm a black man that disagrees with a black man. Does that mean I don't like you? No.
Does that mean you're not black?
No.
Look at you. Look at you.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So it's like,
well, technically, none of us are black, but we'll say that for another day.
yes, that is a deeper conversation, and we go back and forth with that all the time. I wholeheartedly agree with you from that definition. Yes, we are African American.
I'm pretty dark.
Still label.
That's another conversation. We're gonna have another day, but no, we're not African American.
Yes, Dre, I know
We don't have to have this conversation.
And that gets into the conversation slightly, but justifying your existence. That's where that gets into, justifying your existence.
I feel like we're kind of close to that topic. All right, how many questions are there? How do you pace these things? Or you just kind of
we
Pretty much no. Let's go with the shits, man.
What's the next one before we get too deep?
We like sports, right?
Oh, I don't actually. I don't watch sports. I play sports. I don't watch sports. We could talk about it though.
Okay, I'm kind of with you a little bit, but let's turn this.
Like I'm not gonna know the names of anybody besides like LeBron.
We went to Philly, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, like so many different states, literally in like 3 days.
Traveling.
And we was just, and there was
on the road again.
There was nothing that could stop. It was like 12 hours or something like that.
That wasn't a risk though. That just was.
Right.
Was.
But again, that was, to you, that's lit. For me, that was a risk because at the time, I had saved. I was substitute teaching at the time, and I had saved up enough I called it my emergency fund, but I had always wanted to. You're never gonna know why, because it was a dumb reason, but we did it.
We didn't spend that much money though.
Really?
I mean, well, until we reached
we spent some bread. Shout out to Rhode Island, by the way. Their rats are huge, but
what in the world?
Really? Just the experience was dope. But the reason why it was a risk for me is because my sister played for the Junior Olympics in Australia and won gold. My brother got to sing for the Queen.
The Queen
of England.
Of England?
Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah,
they still got a queen over there.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
She's still alive. Shout out to the Queen.
Queen, Your Majesty.
But yeah, I haven't traveled outside of the country like ever. And
neither.
But it's like
inside the country, bro.
But at the same time, I never traveled up north. The furthest up north I went was like Delaware, and that was but that was a family trip, and we were forced to go. I didn't want to go, because it's like I'm around my parents. I ain't want to. You're limited because you're around your family, quote unquote limited. But when it was me and him, the sky. First off, don't ever, if anybody on this podcast listens, ever meet Zay, don't ever say let's go somewhere, because he's gonna be like yes, and it doesn't matter. Like the first time we were supposed to go the year before, but I got cold feet and I was like nah,
and I went by myself.
Yeah, and you went by yourself, and I was like, this year I'm not gonna get cold feet, because I was scared, because I didn't know what was gonna happen. But I was like, you know what, fuck it, let's go. And we went, and the drive wasn't even that bad. You would think 12 hours would be impossible, but
I was asleep.
He was asleep the whole time. I know you drove like the first hour. You drove the first hour, and then would wake up every couple hours, be like, do I need to drive? Nah. All right, but go right back to sleep. I
would wake up. We would freestyle
for a little bit, and then we would hit the road. I'm talking about, and I didn't stop. At all. I know.
Like, Justin, please.
I stopped.
I see your eyes closed.
I stopped one time to fill up water and grab cash, because we kept going through the polls and not paying, and it was really. And they were like, "You need to pay," and we were like, "No."
Since I didn't know, can I get this one pass?
Right. Just one time. So, and then come to find out, when we got we didn't even need half the money we had in our head. It was. But I got to meet a whole different side of your family I ain't never met, and that was amazing. And they accepted me. They were that like, was cool, "You're a part of us.
Yeah,
you're our cousin."
Not a lot of my friends get to meet a lot of my family, because they're just so like around. Like my dad's side is on the West Coast, and my mom's side is on the East Coast, and they're both in the North. Like my dad's from Seattle, mom's from Connecticut. And their families are like mainly stay around there, and we normally visit them. Like they don't. I mean, that's just how it works out that we go to them. So not a lot of people get to meet them. So it was actually that was one of the most amazing trips I've taken. Yeah. Well, I've taken some crazy trips though. Like when I left college, things got really crazy, because like there definitely was the pressure and everything from my parents, and like all these other pressures, and just figuring life out. Like everybody knows what I'm talking about, but just the fact that I had a car, and then once I actually like moved out and I had an apartment, and I was just like, there's no reason for me to be anywhere. Like nothing is tying me to anywhere. Like that is a good feeling.
Yeah. I will say also for me, and this is a dumb risk, but graduation. Like after you graduate, and that first couple weeks where you don't have class anymore, like that was different to me. I didn't understand it, and I was like, oh, so that's it? And he's like, yeah. It's like, so you mean to tell me
I was
job? Right, exactly. Like job? I didn't the job I was supposed to have. I did my internship at Carolina Performance, and they were before that was literally right when COVID happened, and the conversation with them, they were talking about hiring me and Tim at the time. It was like 6 figures.
I remember you was telling me about how that white woman. But you look strong and healthy.
Yeah, I was that whole, but that and I genuinely liked that job, and they wanted us to be there. But then COVID happened, and then big mom and like big corporate companies started tapping their pockets.
Oh,
it was like, nah, we can't afford to make that decision.
You know what was actually a big risk, and what actually felt like a risk at the time. Like it was a pretty hard decision when I finally left my job. Like when I finally like left. Like for me, because it was such a weird place that I was in where it was like I hated my job, but I had this thing in me that was like, you shouldn't hate your job. Like this is the only way to get money. This is the only way to have. So like, don't hate it. Like if you hate it, it's just because you're lazy. Like you don't want to be working or whatever. But then there was the other side of me that was like, but what if I was doing what I love? Like I feel like I would be working so much more efficiently. And it was also when I hadn't really done all the work of like going deep inside and like really trying to figure out like what is my like true self, like just ignoring a lot of questions, stuff like that. But it was a hard choice for me to actually be like, you know what, I am not going to accept this. I'm not going to it's not gonna be me, and I might end up poor and homeless like out here. And that's gonna be
and that almost happened.
It still could happen. Yeah, I'm off of savings right now. It still could happen. But it's also like
that's a testament to your dedication, though, because you did build up yourself to be able to.
That's the thing, yeah. And I could be poor right now. I honestly think I could live in the wood. Like, is that a flex? If I flex it right now, is that even a flex?
I don't know. Find out next time.
I could live in the woods.
Be like Bear Grylls.
But I do feel like the situations that I was scared of when I was leaving my job, I'm no longer scared of. Yeah. The relationship I had with music was not where it is now, and which is I love where it is now. I love the music I'm doing. I'm loving the people that I'm meeting. Just like all of these experiences are just crazy, and so it's not a risk to me now. I know it was the right decision. Like it feels good and it resonates with me. But at the time, that was hard.
Oh, well, I guess another risk that I'm kind of moving in the direction of now is, as we were talking about earlier, with Twitch. That's I love playing video games. Mm-hmm. I do. I love playing video games. Not even from the sense,
and just that possibility, like getting paid for playing.
Because this is something your parents used to tell you, get out the game, get out the game.
Yeah. I'm training. I'm practicing.
Yeah, but all these niggas would want to smack their parents.
I would never get paid off.
Who's that? What was it? Fortnite nigga with the blue hair.
Twitch. I'm not Twitch. Ninja.
And how much did he make? Like some millions, bro.
Yeah, just off playing. Now I know the difference between, I guess, me and a lot of people that quote unquote take it seriously. I'm not in it for. I say I'm not in it for the money, but if I do get paid, that would be nice. But I just enjoy playing video games. I like playing video games with my friends and quote unquote content creation similar to this. I like talking to my friends. So putting a mic in front of us isn't hard because it's just still just conversation amongst friends. Mm-hmm. It's easy for me and it's enjoyable for me to do. Mm-hmm. Do I expect big monetary value or big fame after it? No, but I'm not going to say no to doing it. So,
I feel like the risk will come when it starts to be like you could be doing something else. Yeah, like you could be, putting in more hours at your job or whatever.
Right, but I choose to play the games, and I'm not quite there yet. But the first step is actually
find out.
Yeah, but say the first step is just pressing that record button and seeing what happens with the games. And as I said before, I don't expect nor I want the instant gratification. I don't want the instant fame. I don't care for that. I want the slope. I want those long nights where I don't know if this was the right decision to make. Or I want those long nights where it's just I don't, because for me it's like, No, I do though. And the reason why I do is because once you make it, you will appreciate it even more. Because it's like true. I even when everybody else told me no, even when I told myself no.
But that's also like maybe I shouldn't be